under the commissioner. Dana Feldman is our executive director. She's been with us now almost 2 years. Harlan Hatter's been with us about 6 or 7 years now. And Michael Williams is our new director. He's been with us since February. And I've been here almost as long as Donnie. Our field supervisor is Brad Smith. He covers the Louisville area. And if you notice down here in the field staff, got Eddie in Western Kentucky, got Dickie White. I want you to welcome Dickie White to the department. He's been with us a month. Also, Leanne's got Eastern Kentucky. The Central Kentucky area from about Nelson County down to the Tennessee line used to be John Ballard. Today was John Ballard's last day. He retired from the department. John Hanson, who covered Northern Kentucky, took a nice pay raise and went with the Department of Transportation. So congratulations to John. So guess what? I've got the same problem you all do. I need some inspectors out there. These are the areas that are posted right now that are available. And if you live in those areas, these positions are available. Go to the Kentucky website, and if you would cruise around, see what you think. But moving right along, a lot of you know this year we got a new computer system, and we're still learning with it. So a few things I want to run through with you fairly quick is how to register your company. You're still going to go to our web page, and under online services right here in the middle, you're going to click on this licensing and certification portal is where you go to set your company up. A lot of you have already done it, so I'm going to kind of move through this fairly fast so you can just see there's a lot of information available out here. You have company registration, then you also have pesticide applicator registration. Chain and corporate registration, stay out of that. That's for gas stations. That's for motor fuels. Either one of these two areas. So we're going to start with the company registration. You're going to enter the company ID, access code, the email that the company uses. Because we're going to get out of the mailing business, we're going to start emailing everything. Postage is killing us. So, then you set up your passwords. Your passwords have to have 8 characters, a capital letter, a number, and then one of the emblems above the numbers. And then you can set things up. When you get down here to the bottom, I'm not a robot. You have to check that to verify that you're not, it's not a computer hacking system is what that's all about. So, talk about your access code and your company ID. We've mailed them out twice. Once with a letter back in February, and then again when we sent out your company renewals. You take those access code and the directions were right there. If you do not have them, shoot me an email or call the office. I'll be glad to give you your company ID and access code. Not a problem. Then, after you complete all the information, you're going to submit that. And then within about an hour, you should get a reply with your access information. Then for the applicator registration, this comes into place with a lot of non-commercial people that are going to take and not completely get the company set up. They just want to take the test. They go in, put in some basic information. I'm not a robot, and they can move on through it. So now you've got everything set up, and you're going to log into your company. Once you have your ID number, your access code, and your login information, you're simply going to jump up here to this login and not through the registration portal and all that. You're going to click in, and this is a dummy account that we set up. A lot of you are familiar with Kathy Buckley. She's best on the computer system in the office. She knows it inside and out. And we set this up to show that you select your company information. You can launch in the company information if you need to change some stuff, or if you're going to start with your employees or other information you want to see, you're going to go to pesticides right here and select this to get started. When you open the company information, This has all your company information. If you need to change some things, this is where you would do it, right there. In the pesticides launch, it's going to give you the employee list, license, employee certifications, and an option to add new employees. This right here, no longer employed, that's the name of our company that we started to set up this dummy account. So this is where you would show up, your company name right there. These are the list of the employees all through the company, and some of you are going to have 2 or 3 pages of employees. The employee license, you're going to click on it. It shows all of you right now should have 6/30/2020. And if you don't have your cards, give me a call, shoot me an email. Some of them, we're still having a few glitches with the system, but we're getting there. And your certification expiration for this year is, some of them are going to be 19, some of them are going to be 20. 80 to 90% of you are going to have 2021 because your certifications just turned over December of last year. The employee certifications, it's going to show all of your certifications that you hold. 7A, 7B is fumigation. School IPM is gone, it is fumigation. And there's a few of you, for some reason the computer's just not reading the information right, so shoot me an email and we'll get it straightened out. This right here is to add, if you're adding a new employee, you simply go over here. This is under pesticides launch. You go over in here, you pick up the add a new employee, you put their information in. Please, no nicknames. If your name is Richard, but you go by Bill, I need Richard, because that's the way it is in the computer. That's the way I'll find you. If I can type all day and try to find Bill Williams, but if your name is Richard, I'll never find you. So make sure you have that. You put those in and spell them correctly, please. Let's see. Once you've selected to save, all that, they'll come up. And you will also have the applicator number, the applicator ID number right there. And I want to get into that a little bit more. You can access and view the employee's information and payment history under maintenance account maintenance. You can see the make a payment, make a test payment. You pre-register your employee to go take a test. You select the site, the date, the time, the test they need to take. And you make the test payment, and you either use the credit card or a bank card, however you want to do that. So you're going to make a payment. Now this is for the renewals, and you would select, it's attached to the company and not to the individual's name, because that's where, under this new system and the way we're trying to line things up in the computer program, like Donnie was saying, the license is going to be tied to the company. You have operators in the company. So your company, you select the option. This box will give you a total. So if they've taken the test and they hold, it'll sometimes show 0. When you get to the select a payment, this over here is a debit card for most intents and purposes, or you're set up with it through your bank, and then your credit card payment. It's going to set that up right there. You'll select whichever way you want to go, fill out the screen, and then down here at the bottom, make sure you hit next. And then once your information is entered, you'll be directed to this page where you must confirm the payment and select the blue button of Pay Now. And then you're going to want to view your receipt to make sure everything looks right. And then complete the transaction. When you're sending somebody to take the test, make sure you hit this complete the transaction, because it's going to generate their ID number and the testing information, everything there. So when they get there, they just hand that information to the field staff, and they'll be able to grade the test on site. and print this confirmation, print this payment confirmation page, and this gives them everything they need right there.
Hey Steve, can we still send them with a check?
Yeah, that's fine. I just won't grade it until I get the test back in the office. I won't grade it until we get to it. Typically, we've been getting to it within a couple of days.
That's not true. There is an option on there when you register somebody, you can pay with a check, but you have to bring that check to the testing site just like normal. But you will get that same page that has what test they're taking and their ID number on it. They still have to bring that page, but you don't have to pay with a credit card to pre-register.
Okay.
But there is an option, you'll have to check that box on there when you're signing up. It'll say pay with check or money order, bring to testing site.
So just to clarify this, can they just show up at the site and take the test, or do they have to sign up?
Not required to pre-register. No, you can just show up.
To get graded on site, you have to pre-register.
Yeah, if you want it graded, when they leave, if you want them to know their grade, you've got to pre-register. Saves you time and money. To make a test payment, and once again, right here, fill in the necessary equipment, fill in the testing schedule. We'll drop down right here, payment date, wherever you want them to go to take the test. Select the test schedule. Then, if you want to pay the testing fee right here, the test that they're going to take the 7A and the turf and ornamental, pay with the credit card process, and then hit the pay with the credit card, or like you said, you can just bring a check or a money order. Electronic check options, you fill this out. This is kind of works between you and your banking association, however you wish to set that up. The electronic payment options, enter all the necessary, select the blue button down here at the bottom on the next, pay now. Once again, there is a processing fee through the Kentucky Processing Center that tags us with the fee. View your receipt and complete the transaction. Once again, you'll need to bring that receipt with you when they come. Payment history. Some of you are going to wonder, well, have I paid my renewals this year? I hate to say it, but there's still quite a few of you that have not paid your renewals for this year yet. You can go in online, payment list, and then you can see for the payment history, there's 2017, it shows, the payment history and when it was made, what it was for. All that information is available, how it was paid right there. And they get ready to take the test. The testing material is all available online. The initial pesticide manual, and then your Category 7 manual. There's also practice quizzes available. Pre-register, bring that. They'll need to also bring some driver's license, some form of identification with them when they come. Your certification lasts for up to 3 years. If you test in August of 2019, your certification is going to expire 2021. If you test in 2020, it's going to expire 2022. It's good for up to 3 years. So just because you go to the short course or somewhere this fall, you now have all the CEUs you need. Until that certification expires, it's not going to roll over. And those will be showing up in the history. Your license gets renewed every year. If you still have a 6/30/2019 card, call me and let's see what's missing. You will still have to have 15 CEUs by the end of the expiration of your certification. School, one thing I thought I'd go over real quick, because some of this is the first time for some of you all here, but school is about to start again. So review what the requirements for doing pesticide work in schools. that when children are present, it's defined as 2 hours before school starts and 45 minutes after the end of the day for schools and daycares. You can use any product that says on the label that it's a bait. You can use that while children are present. You can use a granular ant bait outside, indoors, the gel baits. As long as it's a bait, you can have at it. Your rat control paraffin-based baits, you can put those in secure bait stations around the outside, by the back of the kitchen, in the dumpster areas and things like that. You have to post in schools whenever you're doing any kind of dusting, any kind of perimeter spray, or any kind of liquid applications, anything other than a bait. Regardless of whether children are, if you do it on a Saturday, you still have to post. And when I talk about posting, this is a legal size sheet of paper. It's got to be big enough that everybody can see it. I don't care if it's turned this way or that way. It makes no difference to us, but it must be posted. If you're going in a situation that the school authority requires that you absolutely make an application in the middle of the day, this is a form that's available. You have to fill it out. You have to have the school authority sign it, put a time on it, then you've got to wait an hour. Give them time to notify the parents, and it's their responsibility to notify the parents that want to be notified if a pesticide application is being made in the school while their child is there. It's their responsibility, and you need to keep a copy of this to prove that you gave it to them. Service record keeping requirements in the schools and daycares, you must put time in and time out. Then the rest of the information is required on all service tickets. But schools and daycares, you got to put time in, time out.
Hey Steve, that's not the current terminology, because it says beginning time and application, ending time of application when applied in schools, isn't it?
Right.
Does it say that?
Yeah. It's got an asterisk right there, schools and daycares only.
Oh, well, okay, but I don't think that's fine. That's not the way it reads, but that's fine.
All of you are road warriors. You make your living on the road, getting to and from the job site. One other thing I forgot to mention, on your new cards, if you notice, it does not have your certification number on it. It has a license number. And it has an ID number, a 5-digit ID number. We are no longer asking, nor do we want to see social security numbers anymore. Remember that 5-digit ID number when you put on your CEU form out here this evening? We need that 5-digit ID number. If you don't have that, need to make sure you print your name clearly so we can read it. Because if I can't read it, I can't give you the credits. But
do you want the ID number or your license number on service ticket?
that's your business decision, however you wish to do that.
But you'll accept either?
Accept either, yeah, just so we can read it, but the ID number is what our system works off of. Because we used to have, if you had different categories, the ag side and the structural side, we're down to one license number for individual. I don't care if you have ag and structural, it's all in one system now. That one license number is our way of tracking, keeping up with things. Yes?
Steve, my ID number has 4 digits. My company ID has 5 digits.
You've been around a while. There's some of you that have 4-digit numbers, and I'd say you're 50 years old or older.
Hold on now. Hold on now.
So, yeah, some of you have been around a while. You've got a 4-digit number for your ID number. Yeah. You can see that all of us make a living on the road. These cell phones are beneficial, but they get us all in trouble. you know, try to set up things to where you're not using them when you're driving, because we go down the road in our travels, we see people texting, talking, looking at, I don't know what they're looking at on the cell phone. But last year, there were 723 fatalities in the state of Kentucky. So my request is, be an organ donor, please. Have 2 transplants. My brother donated the last one, and I'm fortunate to be alive here. And some of us, all of us in here can think back to some episode where I'm still fortunate to be here. So pass on a blessing if you can. Any questions?